Our position statement is that man acquires and develops language. It's a necessity of humans, it's a physiological need for humans to communicate with its surroundings and to express himself. We also believe that it's an individual responsibility. If a person doesn't have a need of communicating with its surroundings, if he doesn't feel the need to actually express what he's feeling, what he's saying, then therefore language wouldn't even exist. It's mainly about external factors, it's mainly about development. It's also an evolutive adaptation of humans that we actually are here because of language, but our ancestors didn't even have this tool. They have to create a tool to actually have a way of communication and expression.
In our argument too, we stated that language changes due to the change in our society. So therefore, the way we communicate and the way we learn our language keeps changing. Even technologies have affected the way we communicate and the way our language works. For example, now there are slangs or mannerisms that didn't exist before. For example, religion has also expressed that language keeps changing and keeps evolving. So the way we learn our language is not the same as we learned 100 years ago, because it's not the same language as it was Latin or Spanish colloquialism. As we communicate with our surroundings and our surroundings keep changing and keep evolving, we are not the same one. And language so is different.
As a second argument, we have that babies express themselves and eventually learn to talk because of their surroundings. They see people using means of communication, not only talking, but hand gestures, face expressions, and babies later imitate that expressions. And we believe that the lack of interaction with babies is what causes them to develop in a worse way. Their brains have an ability to learn new things when they are babies, but if they are left alone, this ability will begin to fade and they won't learn all of the expressions, all of the words that people are saying around them. There are several studies in which kids are left alone and they don't actually talk to others or express themselves.
Our counter-argument is that many of the Asian civilizations think or wrote or left evidence that the language was actually a gift from the gods. They didn't even have to learn or develop anything. It was just a gift of God. A clear example of our religion, our Catholic religion, is Genesis 2:20, where God demands Adam to name all the animals of the Eden. And this implies that Adam already had a language and already had a logical language without even thinking about it. And we also found out that babies do understand nonverbal language. They understand the context and the tones of the mother since birth, but they do not understand an structured and verbal language.
As a conclusion to our debate, we believe that language is a pillar of human development, and among societies, language evolves, and so does people. Therefore, we develop with language, and there are external factors that allow us to communicate and learn this language. We don't born with a latent ability of it, we just learn it and then express ourselves.
And language evolves over time. In a more complex world in which we live now, we tend to make language easier. For example, we use now text messages, we use emails, when before we only used mail that was sent, and we have become a more practical human beings by changing our language over time.